Welcome to another episode of the Transparent Trading Academy. This is your host, Trader Travis, author of the best-selling book, Option Trading Made Simple. Now, if you're new to the Academy, this is your opportunity to see myself, an average guy, attempt to take $1,000 and turn it to $1 million investing in only one stock. And yes, I know that sounds so like get rich quick and scammy, but watch a few videos in this series and you'll see this is the real deal. Now, I begin this journey with two accounts that I'm using as a side-by-side comparison for performance purposes. In one account, I invested roughly $1,000 and I'm using a traditional buy and pray approach, also called buy and hold. Then I have another account where I'm investing about the same amount, $1,000, but I'm only going to trade stock options. Now, if you're not familiar with stock options, they are a way to make money in the stock market, no matter if it's going up, down, or sideways. So in theory, because I can trade in any market environment, up, down, or sideways, I should make money. But we shall see if I succeed or publicly fall flat on my face. And today's episode is a special one because it's the origin story of the Transparent Trading Academy and how two guys, Pat Flynn and Kirk Duplessis, I hope I didn't butcher his name there, helped me find my joy again. But before I get into that, let me take you back to 2009 when I started teaching online. So a lot of people don't know that I started and still teach people how to trade for free. All they usually see is that I have this really successful coaching program, which is the Option Profit Formula Success Academy, that teaches people how to retire in as little as 5 years. And then they find out the costs, which is several $1,000s, and they just automatically assume I'm all about money and I don't care about the little person who can't afford that level of investment. But the truth is, I never really wanted to sell anything. Any training program that I do offer was, one, heavily requested by my audience, and two, they set the price. It's the model I have always followed. I figure out what people want. I give it to them for free. Case in point, the main website that I have, there's over $3,000 worth of information here on the free web-based course. But as always, people always ask for a paid version. And, I'm like, why would you want to pay when I'm giving you everything for free? And that is literally how the Success Academy got started. But even I fail at that sometimes because I tried to over-deliver and set the enrollment for the Success Academy several $1,000s less than comparable courses. And now I get emails from students telling me the price is too low. I need to raise it because I'm devaluing what they actually get when they join our tribe. But anyway, the free website was created back in 2009. And it's because I got on my wife's nerves. She does not share my passion for the stock market. And I was talking her head off about investing. And one day she was like, you know what? Instead of talking my head off, why don't you create a blog so you can share it with people who actually care? So I'm like, hey, that's a great idea. Let's forget the fact that you just kind of blew me off, but that's a great idea. So I did that. And I just literally spent, several months doing a brain dump, teaching people everything I know and giving it to them in this web-based course. And then my email started blowing up. People are like, can you coach me? And I'm like, no, I don't want any parts of coaching. This industry is scammy. I don't want to be a guru. I don't want my name even associated with anything like that. But then people kept emailing me over and over for a year. And I'm asking the same thing. Why do you want to pay when I'm giving it to you for free? But eventually they wore me down. And so I had one class. I said, look, I'm only going to do one class, and as they say, the rest is history. Because here it is 5 years later, and that one class has turned into the Option Profit Formula Success Academy, where collectively as a group, the students have earned at least close to $1 million. I know at least over $500,000 because I did some, back to the envelope math a few years ago. But the funny thing happened was, I'm like giving people stuff away for free. I create a paid version which already on the website. I literally taught them word for word what was originally on this website right here. And then I got a flood of success stories from the very first class. And I could not figure it out. As a matter of fact, Michelle down here is one of these success stories. She, like many, lost a lot of money during the market crash of 2007 and 2009. But after the course, she's like, you know what? I took back control of my money. I've rebuilt my retirement account. And I increased it over 163%. Same information that was on the website, but I taught it to them live in a class. And I could not figure out for the life of me why I had never got raving success stories like this from people that consume the material for free. And it's something I heard from Michael Hyatt. He said, when people pay, they pay attention. Now, my mentor said it another way. He said, people don't appreciate what they get for free, and the people who always brag about learning for free, they're always broke. And I'd have to agree, because me and my friends used to brag about self-education, how we're not going to pay, let somebody get rich off of us. We were all broke, right? The second thing my millionaire mentor said is that, a person like that is sending mixed signals. They want to be investors, but they're unwilling to invest in themselves and their education. You see, people are like stocks, and I'll prove it. Think about your life. Doesn't your life look like this stock chart like here? You have some highs, you have some low points, then you have points where, nothing's really going on in your life. You're not growing, but you're also not going through a lot of drama right now. And that's kind of where my life is right now. We just recently had our third kid. My wife is completely drained and she has no energy for me. So her super needy diva husband is feeling unloved right now. But you know what? I tell myself this too shall pass, hopefully. But anyway, you know how else people are like stocks? When you look at the stock market, you have to ask yourself 3 questions. Are people hopeful? Are they scared? Or are they indecisive? When people are hopeful, stocks go up. When they're scared, stocks crash down. And when they're indecisive, stocks go nowhere. You see, there are some people who don't invest in themselves and their education because they're scared. Somewhere in the past, they've invested in a course and been burned. Or, worse yet, maybe they put in a lot of work and didn't see any results, or maybe lost hundreds or thousands of dollars because no one taught them the secret to success. And that's how to invest so that it's nearly impossible to lose money. And yes, there is a way to do that. And then you have the indecisive group. They're not scared. They're really hopeful for their future. They haven't lost any money. And here's why. That hope allowed them to invest in a course. But then they realize, it is more work than I kind of hoped for. I wanted something a little bit easier. And they become indecisive. They do nothing. And then they let that course collect dust. They don't do anything with it. Or are you a hopeful stock? Maybe you're like me, someone that wasn't born into a wealthy family. And for those that know my story, I grew up poor in a house with no running water or bathroom. We used a 5-gallon paint bucket as a toilet. But maybe you're hopeful you can rise above your current financial situation. You've decided that quitting is not an option. I'm going to bust my butt. I'm going to put in the work so I can be a 15-year overnight success like all the other millionaires I know. And then you find a course that can teach you the secrets of wealth creation, but maybe it's like my course. It was $9,000. And when I, found out that, we won't even go in that story. But anyway, I proceeded to be financially irresponsible and max out my credit cards and enrolled in the course, which I do not recommend, by the way. The best investment you can ever make is to get out of debt. But regardless, I put the course on the last credit cards that weren't maxed out. And then I hit another hurdle. My mentor said, you know what, you need, it was like a 5-figure trading account to start off with. I'm like, I don't have anything. What happened to the whole take 100 and turn it to $1 million in a year that I read online, right? So anyway, I proceeded to do what any broke person would do at that time. I sold my car and all the furniture in my house to fund my trading account. But something amazing happens. You invest $9,000 and then your first year, you make over $21,000. That's right. My very first year, I made over $21,000. And here it is, over 10 years later, I'm still earning money off of that one-time investment of $9,000. And I have the honor of teaching people like you how to also create income freedom. So I like to say that buying shares in that Trader Travis stock was a very good investment. You see, people are like stocks. What kind of stock are you? But anyway, I kept coaching, and then 5 years later, I hit a roadblock. I became sick in my soul. I was depressed, I was unhappy, and I didn't want to coach anymore. And, I did all the things that you're supposed to do when you're depressed, like talk to people and focus on what you're grateful for, my kids, my family, the money we make, our lifestyle. Nothing was doing it. I couldn't get out the funk. I was emailing my assistant. I'm like, can you take over for me this week? I'm really having a hard time, and I can't figure out why I'm so depressed. Now, quick side note on depression. This is my philosophical thought process here. I was thinking maybe depression is a gift from God because, I didn't want to medicate my depression. I wanted to use the clues my depression was giving me. Maybe my depression was a gift from God to show me that, you've lost your way. But anyway, I was depressed. And that is where Pat Flynn and Kirk came on the scene. Well, they virtually entered my life. And I listened to a podcast and I finally realized why I was sick in my soul. And so let me pull up that podcast right here. I think I have it right here. So it was Smart Passive Income podcast number 175, where Pat was interviewing this other trader named Kirk. And he was telling them how he's, transformed his business and how he, decided to operate a different business model than what's normal in this industry. And after listening to him, I realized this is why I'm sick. I had lost my way. You see, behind the scenes, I had been investing in myself and my own education, but it was with business mentors. I took a class at my church taught by Chip Ingram, and it was a spiritual gifting class. And it said, I'm a giver and a server, which I wasn't surprised, but givers and servers aren't known to be savvy business people. So I sought out a business mentor to teach me how to serve more people, but in an enlightened way, kind of a give back kind of way. So I invested at least 30 grand plus with several well-known gurus. And you know what I discovered? Well, let me tell you one of my experiences. I spent over $15,000 with one guy. I didn't hear from him for about 3 months. No thank you card, no high five, no welcome to our tribe, no email, nothing. And oddly enough, I did have one phone call with his assistant, but I didn't receive any goods yet. They were like, oh, we're going to get started in several months. I'm like, okay. And I had several other experiences with other coaches. It was the oddest thing ever to invest so much money and months will go by and you don't hear from people. But I finally found one coach I decided to move forward with, and he taught me this concept called problem, agitate, solution. Essentially, figure out someone's problem, agitate it, and then offer your solution. And I remember the moment he said that, the hair stood up on my arms, and I'm like, it just gave me this visceral effect. And I'm like, you know what? If this is the kind of coaching you're giving me, I don't want it. And we parted ways, hopefully as friends, but I doubt it. And it left me with the impression that all these guys cared about was money. I don't know if that's true, but that's the impression I walked away with. And, I told my wife, I said, I am at peace with the fact that God didn't wire me to be all about money, but, I still became depressed because I'm like, I'm looking for my tribe and I can't find them. The people who value family time and giving back, who don't put making money as a sole focus in life. It's like I feel like such an oddball in this industry. And frankly, I get lonely sometimes. But on this podcast, I heard my language. I remember standing up sitting on the sofa. I stood up and I'm like, they're speaking my language. These are my people. They were talking about being transparent and giving back, and like something woke up inside me. And, for 3 days straight, like I was like a mad scientist. I was writing all these ideas and things were coming to me. And what emerged was the idea of the Transparent Trading Academy. Now, this is the place where you're going to not only learn how to successfully trade options, but you're also going to watch me trade my own real money account in an attempt to take $1,000 and turn it into $1 million. Membership is always free. It's my way of adding value to your life without you having to pay me a dime. And just to be clear, I'm going to still offer the same programs I have always offered. And that's the Kindle book, which is a few dollars, and the Success Academy, which is a few $1,000s. But as I always tell people, I'm not putting a gun to your head. There's no psychological manipulation. No one's forcing you to join. It's there for people who want it and need it. And as I always say, I don't care who you learn from. I just care that you learn this. If you can make money for my free stuff, I am super happy because I added value to your life without you having to pay me a dime, which is my goal. And if you want advanced training and phone calls with me, then cool. I'll be able to get to know you better and help you accomplish your income goals faster, because all the self-educators I know trying to learn for free, they stay broke or they lose so much money with trial and error that they eventually give up. As I stated earlier, I invested over $9,000 to learn this skill, and all of my millionaire mentors also invested in themselves and their education somewhere along the way before they became successful. Now, before I let you go, I have another funny but sad story as to why I chose Starbucks and why $1,000. Now, the secondary reason is that Starbucks is one of the stocks that was produced by the Hot Stock Formula. The Hot Stock Formula is a proprietary formula my millionaire mentor shared with me, and he showed me how to find the top 20% of all stocks in the market. And so I have the yellow. This is a list from back from 2010, 2011, where Starbucks first came on my radar screen. It was $33 at the time and $61 now, but this $61 does not factor in splits and things like that. So all these ones highlighted in yellow are the ones that more than doubled in price since they came on our watch list. These ones are ones that are up, but not double in price. And then we have a few losers here. Some are small losses from 26 to 22. So this is about, give or take 5 years after these stocks will compile. But I'm always compiling stocks in real time. I just want to show you the earlier list that I could find where Starbucks first came on my radar screen. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I picked Starbucks. So if that's the secondary reason, you're probably saying, well, what's the primary reason? Well, you can also thank my wife for the Transparent Trading Academy. Interesting fact, side note here. My wife is Native American, part Nez Perce and Santee Sioux. I met her on eHarmony, and we were one of their TV couples back in the day. But anyway, my wife is a very supportive person. She's always supported my dreams, goals, and I'm always experimenting behind the scenes and, trying to grow as a trader, trying to grow as a trainer to teach my students new things. But one of my experiments recently blew up in my face and I lost like $20,000 to $30,000. So, you can imagine how that felt. I'm coming to her humbled, apologizing profusely. And she said, it's okay. It's like our real estate investment. Sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. She was so nice about it, but she put me on punishment. And the punishment was no more experiments. And so I did like any good husband would do. I begged and pleaded with her, please let me keep experimenting. So we came to an agreement. Yes, I can experiment, but I can only experiment with $1,000 each experiment from this point on, with a max of a few experiments at a time. So that's why it's only $1,000, and that's why I picked Starbucks. Another reason I picked Starbucks was I said, okay, well, if I'm going to be on punishment, you guys have to be on punishment too, and you're not allowed to go to Starbucks anymore, because I'm embarrassed to say how much money my family was spending at Starbucks each month, but it was a lot. And I said, you know what? You guys got to stop going to Starbucks and at least give me a chance to make back some of the money you spent at Starbucks over the years. So this is really going to be, I have some real motivation here to make money with Starbucks. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I am honored that you spent your time with me today, because time is your most valuable asset. And I hope in this program, I can teach you how to earn more income, have more family time, so that you too can give back to society. And I also hope this video has added some value to your life. And if so, please share it with your friends through the social media links below. Do not go down this investment road alone. Invite your friends along on this journey with you. You take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.